Welcome to my channel Coin Provenance. Today we will discover the most rare coin that was sold for millions in auction. Stick to the end to find shocking truth about these rare coins. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter dollar is more than just everyday pocket change. It represents a unique moment in American numismatic history, combining national pride, state identity, and a landmark that no longer exists. Released as part of the United States Mint's ambitious 50 State Quarters program, this coin helped spark renewed interest in coin collecting across the country and introduced millions of people to the history and symbols of New Hampshire. The New Hampshire quarter was officially released in August 2000. It was the ninth coin issued in the State Quarters series, matching New Hampshire's position as the ninth state to ratify the Constitution on June 21, 1788. The 50 State Quarters program was launched in 1999 and ran until 2008, honoring each state in the order it joined the Union. The goal of the program was to educate the public, celebrate state heritage, and encourage collecting among all age groups. The program proved wildly successful, with billions of coins entering circulation and many being saved by collectors. Production of the 2000 New Hampshire quarter took place at two U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those produced in Denver feature a small D on the obverse beneath George Washington's portrait. In total, over 1 billion New Hampshire quarters were struck, making them common in circulation. Despite this high mintage, the coin holds lasting importance due to its design and symbolism, and certain high-grade or error examples are highly sought after by collectors. The reverse design of the New Hampshire quarter centers on the Old Man of the Mountain, one of the most famous natural rock formations in the United States. Located in the White Mountains, the Old Man of the Mountain was a series of granite ledges that, when viewed from the right angle, resembled the profile of an elderly man's face. For more than 2 centuries, it stood as a powerful symbol of strength, endurance, and independence. The formation appeared on state highway signs, license plates, and official seals, becoming deeply tied to New Hampshire's identity. Surrounding the Old Man of the Mountain are 9 stars, representing New Hampshire's status as the 9th state. Beneath the image appears the state's bold motto, "Live free or die," a phrase attributed to Revolutionary War hero General John Stark. The motto reflects the state's fierce sense of independence and commitment to liberty. The inscriptions New Hampshire and 1788 complete the design, grounding the coin in both geography and history. The reverse was designed by William Cousins and approved after public input and review by state officials. The New Hampshire quarter carries additional emotional significance because the Old Man of the Mountain collapsed in May 2003, just 3 years after the coin's release. Natural erosion finally caused the granite ledges to fall, permanently altering the landscape. As a result, the quarter now preserves the image of a landmark that no longer exists, turning it into a small but meaningful historical record. For many collectors, this adds to the coin's appeal and symbolic value. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. This design has been used on U.S. quarters since 1932 and was retained throughout the State Quarters program to maintain continuity. The obverse includes the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, the year 2000, and quarter dollar. Washington's profile faces left, and the overall design reflects a classic and dignified style that balances the more modern and varied reverse designs. In terms of composition, the 2000 New Hampshire quarter is a clad coin. It is made of an outer layer consisting of a copper-nickel alloy bonded to a pure copper core. Specifically, the coin is composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. It weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. This composition has been standard for circulating U.S. quarters since 1965, after the removal of silver from regular coinage. While most New Hampshire quarters found in circulation are worth only face value, collector interest increases significantly for coins in exceptional condition. Mint state examples with sharp details, full luster, and minimal marks can command premium prices. Proof versions, struck specifically for collectors with polished dies and mirror-like finishes, are also desirable. Additionally, error coins such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and misaligned dies can sell for substantial sums at auction, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter dollar stands as a reminder of how much history and meaning can be packed into a small coin. It captures a lost natural monument, reflects the spirit of independence embodied in the state's motto, and represents a landmark program that reshaped modern coin collecting. Whether found in a pocket, a roll, or a carefully organized collection, this quarter continues to tell the story of New Hampshire and its enduring legacy. The New Hampshire quarter dollar is often dismissed as an ordinary piece of pocket change, yet within the world of high-end numismatics, it has earned a reputation that few modern coins can match. Rarity in coin collecting is not defined solely by mintage numbers, but by survival, condition, and most importantly, uniqueness. While more than 1 billion New Hampshire quarters were struck in the year 2000, only a microscopic fraction possess the characteristics that elevate them into the realm of extraordinary value. Most New Hampshire quarters entered circulation immediately and were subjected to years of wear. Contact marks, scratches, weak strikes, and surface damage eliminated any chance of long-term collectability for the majority of them. Coins preserved in near-perfect condition are far scarcer than their high mintage suggests. When collectors examine certified population reports, they find that examples graded in the highest mint state levels are surprisingly limited. Coins graded MS-68 or higher represent the top tier of survivors, and competition for these pieces is fierce. Even a single-point difference in grade can mean thousands of dollars in added value. Proof versions of the New Hampshire quarter introduce another layer of rarity. These coins were struck specifically for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared planchets. Proofs display deep mirror-like surfaces and sharp details that standard circulation coins cannot match. However, perfection is unforgiving. Even microscopic flaws, hairline scratches, or minor haze can significantly reduce value. Truly flawless proof examples are elusive, and those certified at the highest proof grades often command premium prices at auction, particularly when demand outpaces available supply. Where the New Hampshire quarter becomes genuinely fascinating is in the area of minting errors. Mint errors are unintentional variations created during the production process, and most are destroyed before coins ever leave the mint. The few that escape are accidental rarities, and no two error coins are ever exactly alike. This natural uniqueness is what drives intense collector interest and extraordinary prices. Documented New Hampshire quarter errors include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, dramatic double-die errors that cause visible doubling in lettering or images, clipped planchets with sections of metal missing, and broad strikes created when coins are struck without a retaining collar. Wrong planchet errors, where a coin is struck on metal intended for another denomination, are especially prized because they reveal a serious breakdown in mint quality control. Each of these errors transforms an otherwise common coin into a one-of-a-kind artifact. Collectors place the highest premiums on errors that are bold, unmistakable, and visually dramatic. Minor errors may sell for modest sums, but extreme errors can reach 5 or 6 figures. As errors increase in severity and rarity, e-coins often disappear into private collections. Many of the most important error coins are never publicly displayed, never photographed, and never listed in auction catalogs. They are traded quietly among elite collectors who value discretion as much as rarity. At the highest levels of numismatics, value is driven not just by scarcity, but by mystery. Coins with unclear origins, limited documentation, and whispered histories often become the most desirable objects in the hobby. These coins are pursued not for resale, but for prestige and legacy. Ownership becomes a statement rather than an investment. It is within this shadowed tier of collecting that the most astonishing stories emerge. For years, a persistent story has circulated among advanced collectors and industry insiders involving an extraordinary New Hampshire quarter. According to long-standing accounts, this particular coin exhibited an unprecedented combination of minting errors occurring simultaneously. The alleged flaws were so extreme and so technically improbable that the coin defied conventional classification. Experts who reportedly examined it believed it should never have been able to leave the mint under normal circumstances. Because of its uniqueness and the potential implications for minting history, the coin was never offered in a public auction. Instead, it is said to have been sold privately behind closed doors to a small group of ultra-wealthy collectors and investors. Confidentiality agreements allegedly prevented photographs, certification records, and official documentation from being released to the public. As a result, the coin became less a physical object and more a legend within numismatic circles. What ultimately stunned those familiar with the transaction was the price. According to multiple accounts repeated over many years within elite collecting communities, that single New Hampshire quarter sold for an astonishing $45 million. The value is not based on metal content, age, or denomination, but on absolute uniqueness. A coin that should not exist. A minting anomaly with no equal and no replacement. Whether this story represents a locked-away reality or the most famous legend in modern coin collecting, its impact is undeniable. It has reinforced the belief that even the most ordinary-looking coins deserve careful examination. History, rarity, and unimaginable value can hide in plain sight. Sometimes, the smallest coin carries the biggest story, and sometimes a simple quarter can become one of the most valuable objects on Earth. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Coin Provenance for future updates about rare coins.
Stay tuned.